Howdy all, welcome back to my channel. My name is AR Kavli, and these are the further adventures, the hostile, deadly adventures of the crew of the Wanda. And first thing first, I realized that I had not, I'd given Penelope a roll for her little thing, but um, I don't remember if she actually rolled to heal Alicia's uh, stab in the leg. And actually, as I read the recovery rules, um, I was actually thinking of some different implementations of how those things work. But in hostile, you recover points per day, and based on being treated. So, in fact, Penelope, it actually still has a little burn on her hand. It's treated, and it will start to recover normally because of the roll. And I think that's probably going to be I think that's the same case as actually what happened with Alicia. So their wounds are treated, but it's not it's not like some systems where it's you make the roll and you automatically get characteristic points back. So that was from last episode. That was just me misremembering how this rule set implements those. All right. So where we were left off is basically the four characters deciding what to do. Giovanni has the experience as a ground crew. He can do those surveys. They may decide not to worry about the other one because of everything that happened, but this is the oil survey. That is what the company wants. They don't care about whatever, plants or or whatever that are a couple hours away that are mildly scientifically interesting. In this case, they've had three casualties, four if you consider that Luke is off somewhere, maybe running around naked on the planet, with the spear playing Lord of the Flies or whatever. Um, so their decision now is basically to repair and leave and return to base, or at least try to salvage some of what's going on, or try to at least salvage part of the mission. And so I think, let's see, I think Giovanni, he's definitely on the side of trying to continue. He's a bit cynical, he's downbeat, despondent, but that's going to express itself in the fact that he knows the company's just going to screw them over and they'll lose everything, and all they have out there is some half crazed crew member who probably didn't even bring any food with him. And as they are debating, because at this point they're still, everyone realizes the boat that they're in, but he lets Rosemary know that she better agree with him because he knows her dark secret. He normally, as long as it doesn't interfere, he doesn't really care so much. And maybe it was something, I'm going to say on a 5 or 6, it's actually something new. Maybe it was something that he noticed while they were in the med bay. Maybe he saw her pop something when she thought no one was looking. So a 5 or 6, it's new information that he has. On 1 through 4, it's something he's known already. He's known for a while, and he hasn't really seen it as enough of an issue to say anything. All right. So he's known about it for a while, and there's no. He hasn't seen it, like I said, he hasn't seen it be an issue, but he is now letting her subtly know that he knows about her stim problem. And so she meekly goes along with whatever he says. So he wants to go. He's going to make her agree. And, the other two, they kind of realize the situation that they're in. So I'm going to say on a 5 or a 6, they want to leave vehemently. They're scared. She's injured. So Alicia on a 5 or a 6, what does she want? Okay, and so as is usual, Alicia is gonna butt heads with Giovanni. Um, and let's see what Penelope does. 5 or 6. Okay, so Penelope, um, she agrees with Giovanni. And let's see what the doctor says. Even though she's going to agree, she's going to fall in line with whatever Giovanni tells her because he's kind of blackmailing her. Okay, she wants to go. No surprise there. She wants to leave. She's terrified. She wants to go, but she's going to side with Giovanni. Although she's not going to do it very vociferously. She's just going to hang her head and say, "I I agree with Giovanni." And so Giovanni and so basically the new captain and the new expedition leader are at loggerheads. He wants to stay. She does not. He has he has the votes. Um, Although this isn't necessarily a straight up vote here because one, she's the captain of the ship. He's now in command of the mission, but she's the pilot. So she could take off whenever she wants to. She really doesn't want to stay. So I think we'll go ahead and we'll do another I'll do another uh, conflict roll. That's not what it's called. What is it? Confrontation. We'll have another confrontation between Giovanni and Alicia. Again, I'm gonna go ahead again because of the situation. I'm going to allow him to roll with a leadership penalty. He still has a -1 from having lower social than she does. So we'll see if he can convince her this time. Does not look like it. Very close. Very close. All right, so they're not able to resolve. Um, he's not happy with her, and she's she's like, no, we can't go back out there. He's crazy. If we try to do anything, he will kill us. He will try to kill us. The second we turn around, he's going to put a fucking spear in someone's back. All right, so it's 3 against 1, but captain of the ship has some say. Same with the pilot. What we're going to do is we're going to take a. We're going to see what Giovanni's reaction is to not being able to have his way. It's not quite so simple as that. I mean, it's a big issue. They're talking about losing a lot, and Alicia is not wanting to go along with them. Not wanting to risk anything else. Of course, she's the one that has the huge hole in her leg. So, okay. see. Should roll a relationship table? No, I don't think so. I'm going to. I'm just going to give him a. I'll give him a roll on the reaction table. See what he does over here. 1. Seeks solace. The character is overcome by guilt, fear, loneliness, remorse, or simply retreats to a regular addiction. Drugs or alcohol may be used, but not necessarily. This is the reaction table on page 70. Let's see. Character withdrawal, both physically and socially, perhaps threatening the mission at hand. Um, all right, so he is despondent. Well, and that's actually kind of his character trait already, is that he's cynical and he's despondent. So he goes storming off. He takes his rifle and storms off somewhere else into the ship. And um, the three ladies talk. Alicia looks at um, Penny, and she says, "What? I don't. Why would you even want to stay? Don't you get what's happening?" And Penny says, "Look, I'm just in this for the money. All right. If we leave now, we're not going to get anything. The captain will have died. Benicio would have died. Owen's dead. They'll die for nothing. Well, I don't want to get stabbed. I don't want to die for nothing. Look, I understand, all right? I'm I'm just the engineer. I'll do what I'm told, okay? That's just what I think. Although I'm surprised that Rosemary is going along. I thought you would definitely want to leave. Now, Rosemary, she looks chagrined, she looks embarrassed, and instead of saying, I'm a I'm a druggie and he's holding that over me, he's she says, uh, well, I think we might be able to help Luke. I mean, if we can catch him, obviously something happened. He himself said the captain thought that he was infected or something like that. If I can get a sample, if I could you know, just get something, get a look at him, get blood samples, whatever, I might be able to figure something out. And that would help us money wise and save Luke. I mean, we know him. He didn't just wake up and decide to start killing everybody. Something's wrong with him, and I think we can help. And as she starts saying this, even though she started it as an excuse, she actually, inside, it feels good. It feels good. She's right. She knows she's right. Because Luke is her friend, is their friend. Now, of course, she doesn't really have any much to say anyway, because even though she's right, she will go along with, um, at this point, she's not willing to admit to anything. Um, so she's just going to go along with as she's told, as her, you know, as Giovanni wants. And he's going to wander off. Let's see. It says he seeks solace. That's kind of um, that's the gist of what he's doing. His reaction roll result. But he's going to do something. So let's head over to our inspiration tables. And I think in this case, okay, he's on a ship. I don't know that I don't know that he I don't know that he's going to do anything to the ship. Okay. Um so instead, I'm going to see what um Let's see what the theme is. What is he up to? What is the theme? What is he thinking? What's the theme of what his plan is? Whatever it is. 6 and a 6. Loss. Okay, so he's feeling loss. He's feeling loss for his friends, and now the Alicia, she is she's kind of at the root of that loss. Okay, let's take a look at personality. What's a personality? 3 and a 4. We'll just kind of use this as an inspiration to kind of see what he's thinking. 3 and a 4. Selfish. All right. I think he's going to go after, without anybody else's permission, he's going to go after Luke on his own. He's being selfish. He's feeling a great deal of loss, and not just the the emotional loss from the death of his friends. He's also feeling loss because if they don't get at least something, I mean, they found oil. They found oil in the hostile corporate, resources. That's that's the you know that's the big kahuna. That's the gold star, is finding oil, and they have found it. And if they walk away from it, some other ship, some other crew is going to come along and they're going to get it. He's fine leaving the secondary or even anything else in the planet or in the system, those other sites that they were going to scan. He's fine leaving those alone, but they're here right now. There's oil in them thar hills, and he's going to go take care of Luke. He's going to go take care of Luke so that Alicia will agree to stay and let them do the survey. So without any asking, without permission, even not even checking in, he decides, he heads down to the lower bay. And he grabs one of the ATVs, not the big, not the armadillo, but one of like the quads. They have quads. He grabs one of the survival kits, slaps it on, grabs a filter, so makes sure that he has food and rations, and he lowers the ramp. Where are you going? Alicia's immediately over the speaker. What are you doing? No, no, you cannot go. I'm leaving. I will get him, and then we will do our survey. Right? If he's taken care of. No, that is stupid. Get back in here. And as the fine, and as soon as the ramp is about 3/4 of the way down, Alicia has overridden it and it starts going up. And Giovanni says, "No, you don't." And he kicks his quad and he zips out. He leaps out the back of the. He leaps off the ramp as it's raising up, and I think he's got ground. He's got ground vehicle, pretty sure. Yeah, he's got ground vehicle of 1. Normally it'd be something that he could just, I would think that he could do no problem, but because it's kind of dangerous, he's going to jump through. I'm going to go ahead and roll on the ground vehicle. Let's see. He's ready to go. The ramp's kind of slow, so I'm gonna give him a +1. Okay. I'm not sure why it says. I'm not sure why it says 0 there, but it tells me he rolled a 6 and a 1. So that gives us a 7 plus 1 for his skill, plus 1, 8. So I probably have something wrong on his character sheet. So he ducks down just and barely clears the edge of the hold as the ramp is coming up, and he shoots forward. Yeehaw! And skids a little bit, but gets control of his quad, and he guns it, and he starts zipping in the direction that he saw Luke going. That dumb asshole! Get back in here! And Luke shuts off his radio. He's done listening to her. He's gonna go take care of it. He's gonna go get revenge for his friends. He's gonna go save the mission and the paycheck. He's gonna go. He's gonna take care of everything he can here. Let's see. Now they were probably discussing for a while. Giovanni can obviously he obviously has the advantage in the um, realm of speed because he's got the vehicle, but Luke has a pretty good head start, and he's crazy. So he's just going to start circling around. He gets away from the ship, and he's using his binoculars, whatever kind of optical devices they have, and he's slowly scanning. He's going to slowly start scanning to see if he can find Luke. Luke, of course, has he's expecting, he's paranoid, and he wants to get back on the ship because he does not want to be left behind. So he's watching closely. Let's see. He doesn't have recon. Let me verify that recon's actually a skill in this one. Let's see. Yes, it is. Okay, so he doesn't have recon, which is the skill for silent movement, hiding, scouting out dangers. Now he does have survival, which is staying alive in a harsh environment, so that can encapsulate some of it. But as far as trying to hunt him down, he doesn't necessarily have that great of skills. Let's see. All right, so they both have survival skill. Let's see. Giovanni has it at a pretty significant level, though. See, investigate is the use of scientific kit to gather clues, scientific. Okay. So I don't think investigate. So neither one of them have recon. And in this case, I don't think survival is really going to fill that in very well. So Luke is trying to hide and ambush, and Giovanni is trying to hunt him down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give them each straight up intellect rolls. All right, to just to see about looking at each other, and they're both smart. They both have intellects of 11. So Okay, so the scout has an 8. So if we're going by an effect, a typical skill throw, so he has an effect of 0. Um, Luke, 5. All right. So Giovanni does, he manages to, while he's scanning, he's probably looking through the scope on his hunting rifle, looking for tracks as he's going from section to section. And he thinks he's found an area where Luke is possibly hiding. He can't see him though, not at this point. Where Luke is hiding, he knows obviously that Giovanni has a rifle. So Luke, one, he can hear the buggy, he can hear the quad. So you can hear when he's getting closer and as he's approaching. And so Luke is pretty much just staying down in the ground. He does not have a great advantage at this point, though. Just going by the skill roll, he failed his intellect roll, and Giovanni passed his. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use our combat rules here on 57. We'll use it to set up at least what happens next. Um, okay, so the first thing we'll do, let's see, who sees who and at what range. Um, so Giovanni at least knows the area. He's figured out which direction, at least to approach. So that was the result of his successful roll versus Luke's failed roll. So what we're going to do is now we're going to do a contact range. We're going to use the initiative table. All right. So the range DM. Now initially it was open grasslands, but um, Luke ran straight to a forested area. Right, that's where he was going. He was going someplace where he knew that at least the big open big hunting rifle was not going to be able to do much. So that's going to be, as we look here, we'll use jungle forest and -2 to the contact range. So the first step is to roll contact range. All right. So in this case, it's an 8 -2. So that gives us a 6. All right. So that's medium range. All right. So that's 12 to 50 meters. So pretty close. As Giovanni is, he knows that the guy can hear his bike, but he's still not sure. He doesn't know that that Luke doesn't have a rifle. Actually, you know what? Yes, he would know that he did not take the rifle because in the time where he was setting up and everything, he would have stuck his head into the ATV. So he knows that the rifle is still in the ATV. So he's not worried that he has one of firearms, although he knows that he is armed and he is dangerous. So he's circling around, he's driving, he's looking for Luke, kind of going back and forth on the quad still, because even though he knows it gives his position away, he knows that he can get up and run away before Luke can catch him. So our contact range is medium, 12 to 50 meters. That's pretty close. All right, an initiative roll required is 8 plus. Roll the determined range, first for the characters, then for the opposition. For the initiative. All right, so the initiative, to get the initiative roll required is 8 or better. Let's see. Gosh. So he's Luke is waiting in ambush, but Giovanni knows that he's in the area, so I'm not sure if that would be like the full +3. I mean, he's not like completely unaware. And the guy is in a vehicle. So I'm going to say that neither one of those really are going to count because he's in a vehicle, but he's stopping and he's looking. So it's not really a direct ambush because he knows he's in the area and he's looking for him. He's not just strolling along out on some hobbit walkabout, getting ready to, get attacked from behind. So I'm just going to say that both are just going to do straight up um, initiative rolls. So 2 die 6 and 2 die 6. So first, Giovanni, he needs an 8. All right, so he failed his. And what's he got? Okay, so Giovanni failed his initiative roll. And what's that guy's name? I forgot. Luke. Luke did not. So Luke has initiative. Winning initiative means that a group has a free combat round of action. If both see each other, roll die 6, and that determines. So in this case, 12 meters. So he gets a free round of action. All right. So the table tells us that it's 12 to 50. That's the range band for the initiative medium, 12 to 50 meters. Given this is going to be kind of a charge of the light brigade kind of thing, kind of need to narrow that down a little bit. I'm going to roll 1 die 6 and basically I think a 1 through 5 here. Okay, so 3. So 30 meters. All right, so I'll just call each one of these, we'll say 10 meters, just to keep them just to keep it simple. Let's see, grids. Yeah, we'll make each one. Each cell 9 meters, since that's the standard move anyway. Okay, we'll put grid off. All right. So 31 meters. Come on. I'll put it there. So the reason that's going to matter is because according to our actions, our movements, our actions, one can move. The actions available: move closer in combat, move 9 meters or closer, closing the range. All right, move into cover, sprint. Okay, move 18 meters, but the character cannot dodge or make any awareness rolls. So because of the outcome of the initiative, 30 meters is when Luke has decided that he's that's his best chance. And the way I think I'm going to play it, because he won the initiative, Um, let's say that he does his move after Giovanni has moved close. Um, so Giovanni's driving. He's got the rifle kind of across the 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 handlebars of his quad, and he's going forward. He's looking. He's going forward, looking, and he's driving. And as when he turns away, that's when Luke decides to come out and rush. All right. So what he can, as far as a move, he does a sprint. So he moves 18 meters, but he can't dodge into cover, make any awareness rolls. In this case, he doesn't need to. It's actually that's his free action, and um, he Giovanni is the one who's caught off guard. He's driving, he's looking, and then he turns over and he stares in surprise as Luke. He's got another one of these spears and he's charging. And his free round is going to basically to charge and close so that now that they are in the distance, or now that he's in melee range, and Giovanni, his gun is handy, but it's not ready to shoot. And from our combat procedures, as we're looking here on page 57, 58, um, when it talks about initiative, winning initiative means the group has free combat. Okay, this determines who goes first throughout the combat. All right, so that initial initiative roll determines who goes first. So that puts, in this case, that puts Giovanni at a pretty good disadvantage. So as he's driving along, and basically Luke comes screaming out of this forest that's ringing the clear area, which is, like I said, where he had tried to go, and so he's going to try to run through, like an old pikeman against a cavalry charge. He's going to try to run Giovanni through with that spear. Now, as it would happen, of course, he actually has brawling as a skill. Giovanni does not. Oh, oh. All right, so that's a hit. That's a hit for poor Giovanni. So as Giovanni is driving along, he's surprised. Luke comes rushing out, and he just jabs that jabs that spear right into him. Okay, 11 points. Ooh. So 8 come off of endurance, and then 5 more, or 3 more. Sorry, 3 more come off of his dexterity. Oof. So as we take a look on our wounds and healings, okay, incapacitated. All right. Start with endurance. When that is reduced to 0, the character is wounded. All right, so he's wounded. Any more damage points are reduced from dexterity. And then when dexterity is 0, he's incapacitated. All right, so he's wounded. He's knocked over for 1 round, and he suffers a DM -1 on all actions. Now, since he was actually zipping along on his thing, I'm going to say that Luke actually stabbed him and lifted him off lifted him off the quad. The quad goes tumbling off. The rifle goes tumbling off somewhere, and Giovanni falls. And I'm going to give him another d6 of damage as since he's falling off of this moving bike. Okay, so 3. So he's going to take 3. Brings him down to 2. But I think we all know where it goes from here. I tell you what, man, you get that knocked down, and you've got somebody trying to ventilate your organs. That's not a good place to be in. So Giovanni is on the ground, and he's stunned. He's not helpless, but he's on the ground. He's struggling to get up. His pain is shooting through his body where he was stabbed and where he landed on the ground and went tumbling. And Luke is following after, just swinging and slashing and stabbing his little welded makeshift spear for all he's worth. And he's essentially going to get a free, he's going to get a free attack on Giovanni, who is not doing all that great. I couldn't see anywhere where he'd got a modifier for being prone. Usually I think it's like a +2. I'll say because he's injured and he's on the ground, I'm going to give Luke a +1 to his hit. Okay, there's that 0 again. I'm not sure why what it's doing there precisely. Again, I must have something. So, but all right. So he rolled a 1 and a 6 for a 7, and then 8. So as Giovanni is struggling to get up, he's slipping in the bracken. He's stunned. Things are still kind of spinning. He's desperately looking around for the rifle. The rifle. Where's the rifle? I need the rifle. And Luke Gay, or I don't know why I keep calling him Luke Gay. Luke jabs forward with his spear. 13. Oh. All right, so 13. That's it. That's it for him. 2 from there leaves 11 points of damage. And just as Giovanni catches sight of where the quad has tumbled and the hunting rifle is still hanging, its strap still tied, wrapped around, tangled around one of the handlebars. Just as he notices it, and just as he moves, he gets up to go get it, and Luke shoves the spear through Giovanni's skull, and the point of the blade shoots out of his faceplate about 2 inches right between his eyes, spraying blood. And Giovanni stands, sits, his jaw going slack, his eyes rolling up. And Luke shoves him face down into the ground. Giovanni is dead. Spear through the brain, blood pooling on the ground of this alien world. And Luke kneels down next to him and says, "You're not going to leave me now. None of you will leave me now." And I'm going to say on a 5 or 6, Luke, say his psychotic condition, his psychosis, gets even worse. 5 or 6. All right. So his psychosis is now expanded. I'm going to use those tables, and let's see. I think I'll use it to do a theme. Should I do an action? No. Do a theme and a personality, just to kind of see, as an inspiration to see how this manifests itself. All right, so theme and personality. All right, so a 1-5 for theme, balance, okay, and 5-2 for personality, kind. Balance and kind. Balance and kindness. All right, so I'm going to say his. I'm going to read that in a way that he's uh, he's not become nice, or he's not going to stop murdering people. But as he starts skinning Giovanni, as he starts splitting his skull open, he speaks kindly to Giovanni. He's like, "Don't worry. I won't let them leave you either. You're always good to me, yo. When we get back to the ship, don't worry. I'll make those bitches pay for wanting to leave us, Joe. Yeah." Oh. And as he continues to fillet Giovanni, peeling his skin back, his eyes wide with madness, his teeth exposed, grinning. "Don't worry. We'll all get home. We'll get back on the ship and I'll make sure they don't leave us. They don't leave us, Giovanni." And he just does psycho stuff to the body. He slashes it open. He mutilates it. He peels the skin. He slits the throat. He smashes the skull. All the while, as he digs out Giovanni's right eye with one of the survival knives. "Oh, don't worry. You don't need that because they're not going to leave us, Giovanni. Don't worry. I got you. I got you." And then he walks over to the quad, and he looks at the rifle. It's not really his style. It's not personal enough. but he's certainly not going to ignore it. So he lashes it. He lashes it to the quad. He wraps the strap around Giovanni's neck, what's left of it, the slashed, skinned, sinewy mess. And he puts the other end around the bumper of the quad. And he says, "Let's go. Let's get back to the Vonda. And we'll make sure that they never leave us again." And so he rides off, his spear at the ready, almost like a knight getting ready to joust, dragging Giovanni's bloody pulp of a body across the the landscape of the alien world of LW610. The more he drags, the more skin is pulled away, the more damage is done, the more blood is smeared as Luke, laughing, heads back to the Wanda, kindly speaking to Giovanni the whole time. "Let's go, my brother. Let's go." And we'll call that one there. Boy, it is really amazing how quick someone can get wiped out in this game. Uh, Especially melee weapons. I mean, he has just and I have not I've made a couple decisions about how things work, but I've not, fudged any rolls or anything like that. Um, Luke, with his one brawling skill, has now killed half of the crew by himself, and this guy had a rifle. So um, now I mean, I've some of those decisions I've made for the story, but he won the initiative, determined the range as per procedure, and he moved and continued to go in his order. So uh, Luke is now on his way back. Very dangerous. Very cool though. I like that, man. You get knocked down and somebody's still attacking you, which of course is how it would be in real life. So remember, shoot them from afar, which was really what Giovanni was trying to do. He just couldn't find him, and so he got ambushed. Anyway, that is it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like, bloody murder and things like that. And we will continue the adventures of the surviving crew of the Wanda on LW610. Happy gaming.